Hey everybody, this is Chris from Bridgeway Riverside. Just want to wish everyone out there a happy Mother's Day. And in fact, while you guys are tagging people in the comments below, I would like to read you a poem. Mom, you know the worst of me, my weakness and my follies. I know you've seen me poop my pants. Don't tell anyone I poop my pants.
Hey everybody, happy Mother's Day, and thanks for joining us online for our online gathering. Thanks for connecting with us. If you're new with connecting with us in our church, we greatly appreciate you coming and hanging out with us. We'd love to connect with you as well. So if you would click the link below or go to our website at bridgewayriverside.church and click the New Here tab, fill out some information for us. That way we can get to know you a little bit better and connect. And as well, we'd like to send you a gift, so you can do that at this time, and we'd love to connect with you. Along with that, we want to give you an update about our church family and just as far as us gathering. Obviously with all the COVID-19 restrictions and everything, and especially with us meeting in this building that's a local government building, we're kind of at their mercy, and we just got to wait until those guidelines and different things are changed. And so we're just waiting, and we're just being patient. We're going to continue our online gatherings as long as we need to, and we definitely look forward to the time when we get to join us all together back again. But in the meantime, we will continue to try to stay connected with you, try to serve our community in whatever way that we can as well. We challenge you to do the same during this time, and as well just press into God during this time. Don't let this opportunity go to waste of what God's trying to do. I believe He's working in some incredible and some big ways, and so press into God during this time, be in the Word, grab a book, spend some time, teach your children the Word of God, and do all those things as well. And so something else that we are looking forward to, we're going to try to start our small groups back up here in the next couple weeks, and so we'll be reaching out to you if you've been a part of those in the past, as far as meeting times and all that. If you haven't been a part of those and you'd like to, we'd love to connect you with one of those small groups. And as well, perhaps we might be even starting some other ones and expanding that, and might be able to do one in your area. So reach out to us if you'd like to connect with one of our small groups. We'd love to connect with you in that way. So we miss y'all, we love you, and can't wait to be back with you and to see you. Now we're going to jump into our first song.
Well, hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us online. It's great to see you guys. My name is Blake. If we haven't got to meet, we want to invite you get to sing wherever you're at this morning. There was between us, by the cross you came and broke down. You broke down, yeah. There were chains around us, by your grace we are no longer bound, no longer bound, yeah. You call me out on the grave, you call me into the light, you call my name and then my heart came alive. Your love is greater, your love is stronger, your love awakens, awakens, awakens me. Your love is greater, your love is stronger, your love awakens, awakens, awakens me. Feel the darkness, feel the darkness shaking. All the dead are coming back to life. Oh, back to life we sing. I hear the song awakening, all creation singing we're alive. 'Cause you're alive, yeah. You call me out on the grave, you call me into the light, you call my name and then my heart came alive. Your love is greater, your love is stronger, your love awakens, awakens, awakens me.
Well, hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. We thought it'd be pretty cool that because it's Mother's Day, we want to interview a real-life mom. So we thought, well, let's interview the best mom in the entire world, in my opinion. So here joining me on the screen is my mom. Hey, good morning, Mom. Thanks for joining me this morning.
Hello. Oh, I moved my hand.
I have a couple questions for you
Sure.
because it's Mother's Day, so I wanted to get to interview quite possibly the best mom in the entire world.
Aww.
So I got some questions for you. Is that okay this morning, Mom?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. So first off, let me start you with an easy one, okay? If you could have one food for the rest of your life, what do you think it would be?
Is it going to have any bad health effects on me, or am I going to be fine if I eat it forever?
Oh, you're asking the good questions. I'm gonna say you'll be fine if you eat it forever.
Potato chips all day long. Any kind of potato chips all day long.
Is this barbecue chips? We need specifics, Mom.
All kinds of chips, and if we got dip with it, that's even better. Chips.
All right, that sounds pretty good.
Yummy
I like
chips.
that. Well, let me ask you this. What's something you've always wanted to do, but you never got the chance to?
It's not that I never got the chance. It's that I wasn't sharp enough to do this. I want to play the guitar, and I've never done it. How do you follow the notes on the lines? How do you guys do that? That's hard.
I'll let you know when I figure it out. I haven't quite got to that point yet, okay?
Yeah.
Hey, what's the best part about being a mom? It's Mother's Day. We're talking about Mother's Day. So what's the best part about being a mom?
The best part about being a mom, probably that God has blessed me with you guys, and I've gotten to enjoy your accomplishments and achievements, and I've also got to help you with the down stuff. It's awesome seeing you as adults and helping you guys get through those struggles and rejoicing with you in the high stuff. It's great.
Oh, stop. You're going to make me cry. Well, since we're on a more serious note now, really, what's one thing that you want to say to all the moms getting to watch and listen right now?
Oh my gosh, I'm talking to all moms. For younger moms with babies and toddlers and school-aged kids, just don't battle with them over the goofy stuff. It's not worth fighting over. And for the ones that are mature mommies like me that have grown children, enjoy every single second you can with them, and make sure that they know the Lord, because one day we want to see all of them in heaven. That's what I would say.
Oh, that's a really good answer. You can't get better than that. Now, Mom, before I let you go, I really have to know, who's your favorite child?
No. You know, we always had that joke that Brian Dewey was the golden child, but I don't have any golden children. You guys are all equal in my eyes. I love you all equally. You're all my favorite children. You all have your own personalities. You're all awesome adults. Thank you, Jesus.
But on a more serious note, really, you can say it. Am I your favorite? That's all right. You can say it.
No, you're all equal. You're equal.
All right, fine. So be it. Hey, Mom, thanks for joining me this morning. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great rest of your Mother's Day, okay?
You too. I love you, baby.
Hey guys, it's Krista from Bridgeway Riverside. I just want to wish you guys a happy Mother's Day and give you some announcements today. So if you want to check out our RightNow Media, it's like the Christian version of Netflix. It's totally free, and you can get that by going to our website, bridgewayriverside.church, and hitting the RightNow Media button. Also, this Saturday morning at 10 a.m., we're going to be having a community scavenger hunt where we're going to be hiding various prizes throughout the community of Felicity, Moscow, and New Richmond. So check out our website and Facebook for some clues. Saturday morning at 10 a.m., and you can get started on that. It's going to be really fun. Now more than ever, it's important that we are loving on our Riverside community by giving donations. It's really important during this time that we're able to keep things going. So if you're interested in that, hop on our website, bridgewayriverside.church, and click the giving button. Another really exciting thing we have coming up for your kids is an online kids night. That's going to be on Wednesday, May 20th at 8 p.m. We're going to be doing that on our Facebook Live and also on YouTube. It's going to be really fun. We're going to have some different activities for your kids to interact with, so you definitely don't want to miss that. Now we're going to jump into our next song.
Sing with me, Lord of all. Lord of all creation, over water, earth, and sky. Zion tabernacles. Glory to Lord on high. Lift it up. Counterfulness beyond ungodly see. Oh, you are holy, holy, oh Father. The universe declares your majesty. Oh, you are holy, holy. Early in the morning, I will celebrate the light. When I stumble in the dark days, I will call your name by night. Let's go. Counterfulness beyond our galaxy. Oh, you are holy, oh Father, holy. The universe declares your majesty. Oh, we sing holy, holy, hallelujah. To the Lord of heaven and earth. To the Lord of heaven and earth. To the Lord of heaven and earth. To the Lord, oh, we see Godfulness beyond our galaxy. Oh, you are holy, holy, universe, universe declares your majesty. Oh, we cry holy, holy.
Have fun glamping.
What is that?
Have no idea.
Huh.
We got this.
Yep. I mean, think about this. The kids are older. Now they practically take care of themselves.
Nobody understands me.
We're doomed.
What did we do the last time they left us alone with the kids?
Mom goggles! Those things were so great. I mean, they helped us see things like moms see things. Whatever happened to them?
I definitely put them in a place I knew I would never forget.
Great. Where are they?
I forgot.
Computer phone. Order 2 pair of mom goggles.
Ordering 2 pairs of mom joggers.
No. Goggles. Mom goggles. You'll always be my baby.
are so weird.
No, no, no.
Just leave me alone! I hate you!
You come back here and say that to my face, young lady.
I'm so confused on how I'm feeling. I don't even know why I'm angry, but it feels good to yell.
What you're feeling is natural. You truly are a gift from God, and I hope you know I'm always here for you.
You're the best dad in the world. I'm sorry I don't tell you that more often.
I am gonna cry like a man-child at your wedding.
Stop looking at me!
Laundry.
Look at this mess. It is literally a pigsty in here, mister. How are you gonna organize your life if you can't organize your sock drawer? First, it's unmatched socks. Then, unfinished homework. Then, kicked out of school. Next, jail. How does she process this every day?
All right, one more time. Plastic bowls up top, face down, forks up, knives down, plates in the center, pots and pans we wash by hand. Now repeat it back to me.
No, I don't think the joggers make you look fat.
I've got my dad's thighs.
Don't you need the goggles?
No. I've seen your mom do this so many times. You have a great mom, you know that.
That's great. Can you hand me the barf bucket?
No, okay, here we go.
I got your cat out of the dryer. You're welcome.
I don't own a cat.
How do they do it?
Cats?
Moms. How do they do all of this without the goggles?
They don't need them. Moms have this God-given ability.
Yeah, it's like no matter what the circumstance, they always see the best version of what their kids can be.
Moms are a little glimpse of heaven.
It wasn't me!
Is that so hard?
Hey, well, good morning, everyone. I'm glad that you can join us today. And we're continuing to make our way through a series called Margins and making room for different things in our life. I hope that so far in this series that you've learned to make some room for some new things in your life. Not necessarily adding some things, because we all know that really none of us have or seem to have any extra time or space to do more things, but maybe redesignating some things and refocusing and rearranging some things around to focus some time and energy, maybe some money, your heart and your mind, and your spiritual space for more of Jesus, for more people, and for growth in your life. It reminds me of when Lisa and I were just early on in our marriage. We had 3 bedrooms and just the 2 of us in there. Of course, we shared a bedroom, of course, but had one bedroom that was just designated like an extra TV room. We had another TV and another couch in there, and just in case we didn't like what the other person was watching or had some friends over or something. And then I had a whole room that was designated just to weights. I had a bench in there, a nice weight set and everything, and everything was really cool. And then all of a sudden, everything changed one night when my lovely wife called me into the other room and interrupted some time with some guys that I had, and to inform me that she was pregnant. And then my weight room began to change. There was no longer any room for my bench. Instead, we got a rocking chair and a crib, and instead of weights and things laying around, we got toys, and the walls were painted pink, and ladybugs were plastered all over the walls. And so things became different for that room. That room, it was the same space, but it got redesignated for a different purpose. So in your life, I hope that you're kind of doing the same thing, that maybe there are some spaces in your life that were designated for certain things, and maybe you're reevaluating and saying, you know what, maybe the baby and the weights can't be in the same room together. That just wouldn't be really conducive to a baby sleeping. Maybe there's some things in my life that maybe they had a place and they had a time and they had a season, but maybe I need to step into a new season, a new space, and create some more room for the people in my life and for especially God to take a bigger role in my life. And so I hope that this series has maybe been conducive to helping you to create some new spaces and redesignate some spaces for more time with Jesus. And so with that being said, I want to step into a topic for today is margin to serve. That you would have a space to serve people and to serve God in your life. And so I want to take a look at John chapter number 4. It's the story of the Samaritan woman, and Jesus goes to Samaria to meet with this woman, and he goes specifically to her to meet with her, to talk with her, and to serve her. And I want us to look at what changes in Jesus as well as he goes and meets with this woman. So starting in verse number 4, it says, "But he needed to go through Samaria. So he came to a city of Samaria, which is called Sychar, near the plot of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph. Now Jacob's well was there. Jesus, therefore, being wearied from his journey, sat thus by the well. It was about the 6th hour, so it's actually about noon, middle of the day. A woman of Samaria came to draw water. Jesus said to her, 'Give me a drink.'" Seems kind of demanding, like, give me a drink, right? For his disciples had gone away into the city to buy food. Then the woman of Samaria said to him, "How is it that you, being a Jew, ask a drink from me, a Samaritan woman? For Jews have no dealings with Samaritans." What a response that she has here. Who the heck are you to demand a drink from me, it seems like she's saying. Jesus answered and said to her, "If you knew the gift of God and who it is who says to you, 'Give me drink,' you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." The woman said to him, "Sir, you have nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. Where then do you get that living water? Are you greater than our father Jacob, who gave us the well and drank from it himself, as well as his sons and his livestock?" Jesus answered and said to her, "Whoever drinks of this water will thirst again, but whoever drinks of the water that I shall give him will never thirst, but the water that I shall give him will become in him a fountain of water springing up into everlasting life." The woman said to him, "Sir, give me this water that I may not thirst, nor come here to draw." And then skip down to verse number 25. The woman said to him, "I know the Messiah is coming, who is called Christ. When he comes, he will tell us all things." Jesus said to her, "I who speak to you am he." And at that point, his disciples came and they marveled that he talked with a woman. Yet no one said, "What do you seek?" or "Why are you talking with her?" The woman then left her water pot, went her way into the city, and said to the men, "Come see a man who told me all things that I ever did. Could this be the Christ?" Then they went out of the city and came to him. In the meantime, his disciples urged him, saying, "Rabbi, eat." But he said to them, "I have food to eat, which you do not know." Therefore the disciples said to one another, "Has anyone brought him anything to eat?" Jesus said to him, "My food is to do the will of him who sent me, and to finish his work." So making space, margins to serve is the topic for this morning. Serving can be difficult. It can be a difficult step for some of us to take, but for others it seems to be maybe more natural. And then there are those of us that maybe we struggle or in a way that we are willing to serve, but sometimes there's hidden agendas and hidden motivation behind it that sometimes is even hidden itself from ourselves, from us. But what I want to draw our attention to is that serving, while seemingly unnatural for us and not in our best interest to serve someone else, it's actually one of the greatest gifts and greatest things that we can do for ourselves, though it's not our sole motivation. We have a tendency to want people to serve us rather than us serve them. We love the thought of being rich or being royalty and the thought of having people wait on us hand and foot. It sounds so wonderful, doesn't it? But the reality is that that may not be the best thing for us. In fact, it could be the very worst possible thing for us. Me, when I'm lazy, when I'm sitting around, when I don't get up and do something, it's detrimental to me in a lot of ways. Proverbs talks a lot about being lazy. It talks about having idle hands. It shows us, draws our attention to the diligence of creatures in the world. He talks about ants several times and how they store up food. They work so diligently to store up food. Being lazy and being waited on hand and foot is not going to be something that's good for us, although it seems like it would be something we'd like to try, right? Having nothing to do gets us into a lot of trouble as well. Idle hands are the devil's handiwork, as some say, is probably a very true statement. We see David being idle as he's sitting in the castle being waited on hand and foot, and while his men are off to battle, the time that he was tempted and drawn away as he looks at Bathsheba. He was idle. He was not busy. He wasn't serving. He was waiting. He was being served. Idleness is not spiritually healthy either. I, for one, do not function well with a lot of ample time on my hands. I need to stay busy. It drives me. It motivates me. It fulfills me. Now, I have to be cautioned, as this whole series we've been talking about creating spaces so that God can fill that time and that space, and we can sit quiet before Him for Him to speak to us. But just sitting idle and not accomplishing anything is not good for us either. A lot of times, even as well, when I try to create some space, I tend to want to fill it with some other things instead of focusing that time that I've set aside to be with God. So while sitting around being waited on all the time, being served sounds really good, it's not really what it's all cracked up to be. Jesus was quite the opposite. He said He didn't come to be served, but to serve and to give His life a ransom for many in Matthew 20. We see very evidently in the life of Jesus that He came to serve. He came to get His hands dirty. He came to get in the trenches, down with the lost and the hurting and the broken. He came to serve. We see it here in this story of the Samaritan woman. He strategically went out of His way to talk to this unknown, marginalized woman that still to this day we don't know her name. We know her as the woman by the well or the Samaritan woman. We don't know her name, but Jesus still said, I got to go to Samaria specifically for her. Jesus came to serve her. Although He asked her for a drink of water, the reality was He didn't really want anything from her. He came to give and offer something to her. I know when I become all about me, it corrupts and it messes up a lot of things in my life. And those around me, it affects them as well. I make a mess out of a lot of things when I become self-indulged and focused on myself. For example, when I get in a specific mood, and Lisa can attest to this, when I'm acting selfish and there's just something that irks me or nothing seems to go well in those moments. No one fares well and I just leave a wake of devastation in the way. The other day something happened and I felt this kind of swelling up inside of me, something brewing, the urge to say something about what bothered me, and honestly to this day I can't even recall what it was at this moment. But it was bothering me, and I know that the way that I was going to respond to this and come across was not going to be kind. It was not going to be soft and kind and tender words. As I thought for a moment, I thought I have a choice at this moment to set a precedence, to set a direction for my demeanor, for my home, for my family, for our day, for our evening, for our week. Because sometimes it can be a storm that lasts more than just the moments that we respond. I recognize that in that moment, I had to make a choice. And I'm grateful that I chose not to say anything and began to process through those things and recognize that what I was worried about and upset about was not important. And what needed to happen was not to say anything and just to overlook it and to serve my family. And in a way, that's what I did. By not saying anything, by absorbing into myself my emotions and those things, I chose to serve my family in that capacity. To do not what I felt was in my best interest at that time, but was best for them, what was best for us. And to recognize it wasn't just a me and them, it's an us. I know that's a simple example, and I would have to admit that that's not my natural tendency and often my normal response, but I want to learn to serve. And I want us to learn that serving, while it's a sacrifice in a moment for us, it's not actually that big of a sacrifice. Because in doing so, we receive far more than we could ever if we were self-indulged. By actually giving of ourselves, we receive so much more. And everyone around us does as well. And we bring a little bit of God's kingdom in that space when we do that. Some of the most amazing and fulfilling moments of my life are when I give myself away, when I've given myself away, not when I've clutched everything so tightly or demanded service to me. On the contrary, some of the most miserable moments of my life are when I was self-serving and selfish and demanded something for myself. Jesus, at the end of the story with the Samaritan woman, he was still hungry, tired, and thirsty. All of a sudden, it seems as though he was no longer a concern to him. He responds to the offer of a meal from the disciples with, "I have meat to eat that you know not of." I've already eaten, boys. And they're confused and confounded. Who's brought him food while we were gone? We went to get him food. Why did he eat something else when he knew we were bringing him something? But he says, and he clarifies it more. He says, my meal, my meat, my filling is not physical food, but it was to do the will of the Father, to serve. He served his Father in this moment. He served this woman, and it filled him. It was everything that he needed. My challenge for you and I today is to give some space to openly, organically, and abundantly serve those around you. To give of yourself and not want anything in return. Don't do it with some guidelines attached when they don't respond the way that you wanted, or do with the gift that you've given the way that you thought it should have been handled. Pay no attention to it. When you do, you seem to rob yourself and the other person of the blessing of the giving. You know, I watched something on the History Channel a couple years back of John Rockefeller and Henry Ford and some of those of the early 20th century, I guess, of billionaires, and just made these mass fortunes. And after working so hard to accumulate wealth over their lives, in the latter part of their lives, instead of gaining more and gathering more, as I guess they began to see the futility of it and the vapor of their life, as James would tell us, instead they began to give it away as much as they could, as fast as they could. I guess they assumed there was no reason in hanging on to it. They couldn't do anything with it when they died. And so they began to give it away. It was as if they for all their lives, they thought that gaining and getting and self-serving was going to bring them joy in their life. And then at the end, they recognized that it was not by getting, but by giving that would give them the most joy. Jesus knew and operated this way. He didn't discover it. He always knew, and he always had planned to come and to serve. and to give himself away for us. Jesus worked and served out of the premise that the more he gave away, the more he had. Because what he really wanted more than anything was us, was this woman, was to please the Father. Jesus, with joy, gave all of himself because you and I were everything to him. A couple things as we kind of begin to close. As he has served us, we ought to serve one another. Jesus made this statement several times. One in particular, the night that he was arrested in the upper room, as he began to wash the feet of the disciples, he made this statement: as I have served you, you ought to serve one another. We are to operate out of the same premise, out of the same space. Because of what Jesus has done for me and the example that he has laid for me, as well as the acts that he has done for me, I should operate and you should operate your life. The example he laid before me can take me so far. He is an example for me to follow, but he's so much more than just an example. His acts of love towards me are not just an example, but one that saved my soul, forgave me of my sin, and gave me a new place. The acts of Jesus for you must always be before our eyes and before our hearts. We must continually come back to the foot of the cross. It reminds me of the wonderful song, "When I Survey the Wondrous Cross." It's from that place that we're able to be motivated and stirred in our heart as we consider what Jesus has done for us, that we're motivated to go and serve the world around us. Secondly, as a look at Hebrews chapter 12, verse number 2, says that looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. And then notice this: who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God. The joy that was set before him. Jesus took joy in the cross. It's hard to believe, but it was his greatest honor. It was his enthronement. To obey his Father, to redeem us, his people, as bizarre and crazy as it seems, there was anticipation looking forward to that day. Although all throughout his life, when people would either try to make him king or others would try to kill him, he would say, "My hour has not yet come." He knew the day, the hour, the moment, and with his eye on the Father and his heart set on you and I, he with joy endured the cross. He served us by giving us his life. It was joyful to him because while he lost so much and while he served and gave of himself completely, while he served, what he gained was so much greater to him. And he invites us into a relationship with him today, either for the first time for you or possibly a deeper, closer, more intimate one than you currently have. Christian, in verse 1 of Hebrews 12 there, he says, "Let us lay aside every weight and the sin which does so easily ensnare us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us." It tells us to look to Jesus, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. We can be tempted not to serve. We can be tempted not to give ourselves away, to hoard and to take and hang on to it with tight fists. But as we see today, that doesn't do us any good. It's not the example that Jesus set for us, nor is it what he has done for us. He gave completely of himself for us. So with that in mind, he tells us, let us lay aside every weight, everything that would tempt us to hang on to something. Let us let go of it so that we can serve, to please our Father and to serve those around us. If you're not a Christian, you don't know Jesus yet, he bids you to come. He tells you that he loves you. He tells you it is his honor to give his life for you. He begs for us not to reject him, nor the gift that he's given to us, but to receive him today. It was his greatest joy to give his life for you. And all he asks is for you to come and receive what he has. Whosoever will may come, the Bible tells us. If you'll come and you would call upon his name and ask him to forgive you, trust in him as your Savior, he'll do that today. Can you bow with me wherever you are, and would you just consider the thoughts of Jesus? Would you consider the story? Would you consider the fact that he came to this woman, again, that we don't know her name, but that's how much he loves her. We don't know her name. She seems insignificant to us, but no one's insignificant to him. He loved her, and he loves you, and he calls you into a deep relationship with him. Would you respond to him? If you're a Christian already, again, as I've said before, would you respond to his desire, his call to be deeper with you? If you're not a Christian, he calls you and desires to have you and to be with you and to save your soul today. If you'd call upon his name and ask him to forgive you of your sin, that you can be united with him. I pray with you as we close today. Father, we love you. Lord, we are challenged. I'm challenged today, God, as I am really every day, to be focused upon myself, to be self-centered, to be self-indulged, to be self-serving, God. So Lord, help us today to begin to recognize that it's through serving that we are greatly challenged and most fulfilled in our lives. It's by giving that we are blessed. Lord, help us to be challenged each day, God, to press back in, to be reminded of not only the example that you've set for us, but what you have done for us. You've given yourself to us. You wash the disciples' feet. You serve us daily, God. You come out of your way to us as you did the Samaritan woman. And Lord, as your example is given to us and as your service has been given to us, God, Lord, might we respond to you each and every day with love towards you, the desire to please you and to serve those around you because those that you love are around us, God, and you've called us to them as well. God, might we see the fulfillment and the joy that comes through serving those around us, God, whether it be by giving a cup of cold water in your name, as you say, or giving a meal, or by sharing the gospel. Lord, we recognize that people need tangible things, but God, most of all, they need you. So God, I pray that if there be one today that's listening, that they would respond to your call today. That whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. So Lord, I pray that you would trust, that you would call them and ask them and burden their heart to put their trust in you today. We love you. We thank you for your great love for us. We thank you that we meant enough to you that you would come and give yourself to us. So we ask these things in the name of Jesus.